Well, hello,
Hello.
laVender.
Oh, what timing. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Timing was great that time. We pretty well got it right that time, Miss laVender.
Universal
Wait a minute,
timing.
I don't have your audio, Miss laVender. How come I don't have your? Say it again. Talk.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I got your audio. I was thinking I was looking over at the wrong stream. Sometimes we don't have the same volume level, but we'll fix it today. How you doing, Sugar?
I am wonderful and welcome to our viewers tonight to WBQP. And if you're watching on social media, welcome. Real Talk Relationships Wind Down Wednesday, whatever we call our show with Mr. Vernon Watson from WBQP and myself, laVender Williams, the Other Woman magazine.
All right,
And
Mr. Finn Williams.
so what's our topic tonight? What are we going to talk about regarding relationships? There's so many topics covering relationships.
What do you want to talk? I told you people like the juicy stuff that nobody else likes to talk about, laVender.
What is that?
Sex and all this other kind of, I don't know, the different stuff that people don't like to talk about.
I
I
know.
mean, they
I
love to talk
know.
about it, but they don't like to talk about it. They think um, certain topics, uh, not necessarily taboo, but people either a little shame to talk about it,
I
don't want to
know.
talk about it, uh, or maybe it's those things Levin talking about. It maybe it's not polite in mixed company. You ever heard that saying? It's not polite
Yes.
in mixed company.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, that's what maybe that's what it is. Okay, maybe we shouldn't talk about it because it maybe not be polite in mixed company.
Well, the way the world is today, I don't think anything is taboo. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree. I
it's
agree.
almost like anything and everything goes. And oh my goodness,
So
I
what you
don't
want to talk
know.
about? What do you want to talk about? Well, I said um, several shows ago that we were going to talk about sex over 60, but you said
Oh,
nah. Yeah, you didn't want to talk about that.
I don't remember not wanting to talk about it because I'll talk about anything.
Really?
Other
Do
Woman
you?
magazine, there is no taboo topic. I like to address what we like to sweep under the rug or hush hush. I may not be an expert in it, but
So
like,
what's the so in the latest ish edition of the Real Talk magazine? I mean, Other Woman's magazine. What was the hottest topic?
the hottest topic,
Yeah.
I can't say what the hottest topic is, but
What's the most controversial topic?
uh, leading with lies. That yeah, how men, well, you covered that topic before. Um, how men will tell women what they want to hear. That's basically what leading with lies is in the beginning of a relationship. You're
And
really not even talking to that person and they're not talking to you. That's just a cover up. What do you call them? A representative. That is not even who you really are. You're so full of love and high on love and your desires and your needs and your goal with this person. You're not even being yourself.
well, that's just life. Life in the fast lanes when people lead. That's those are the games that people play in relationships. Lavender. That's just the way it is. So
That
I
is
don't
so
know.
sad.
It might be sad, but it might
Sad
be
but
sad, but
true,
it's
huh?
true.
Mm,
Yeah, might
mm,
be sad,
mm,
but it's
mm.
true. But you don't want to talk about sex after six. You think folks having sex after 60 years old, 80
I
years? 90
I
years.
I sure hope so. I think we touched on this last a couple of weeks ago
Yeah, we touched on it.
about yeah, because I remember you saying we were talking about getting aging and not being able.
Yeah. No, we
Yeah,
actually we was talking about um, STDs after 60. Remember that?
no, I
And
don't.
you didn't believe that people after 60 can get STDs.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, because that definitely is an issue.
That is
Um,
sad.
yeah, yeah,
But you
sad.
know what? My mother, my mother told me. I think it was my mother that told me. It seems like the older we get, the dumber we get. We act like we don't have any sense. I don't know if we're trying to relive or hold on to our youth, afraid to age, wanting younger men. I was talking to a friend the other day. She said, "You got to go younger. You got to go younger." Because I believe she was 10 years her man's senior. Is
Uh-huh.
that how it is if she's older?
Yeah, she seemed to
Okay.
him. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. So
And go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I want
So
to know.
she was just
We
saying,
call them cougars now. You know that, don't you?
huh?
We call them
Cougars.
cougars.
Yeah.
They experience cougars.
Yeah.
They can teach them young boys a few things too.
I don't know why they call them cougars. Is it? They just want a man who works.
Ah,
Oh Lord!
but
But you
hey, and
know what?
Lavender, before we go on, did you get on? Are you live streaming?
I
'Cause
am. I
sometimes we
am.
forget
I
to
take
check that.
I take care of my business.
Okay,
Yes.
I got one of our favorite fans just text me, and I'm texting her back. It's a she-mail, and I'm says London by our own right now. Okay, trying to get to, and she because she loved to hear us fuss. And you know what I found out though, Lavender?
What?
They the more that we argue,
Oh
the
yeah.
more people like it. I wonder why is
I
that?
know. I
Because I'm right
know.
and you always wrong. I don't understand why in the hell they why you, excuse me. I be trying to educate you, but you hard headed. You don't listen.
I think I'm the more practical of the two of us. You
No,
kind
no,
of, oh
mm-mm.
yeah, oh yeah.
No, no, no. You the most you more what you call it delusional
Okay, I was going to say, even though I live in my own
own
fantasy
world. Yeah, you
world,
live in the
I
fantasy.
live in my
I
fantasy
live in the
world.
real world, and you live in the fantasy world.
And I
Okay,
believe most females live in a fantasy world. We don't want to accept the hard truth of the nature of the beast, the man. But I always say if you can accept a man for
mm-hmm,
who he is, you'll be good in a relationship.
uh-huh,
But if you want to fight who he is and not accept a man being a man, because you used to always tell me, don't get mad at a man for being a man.
right.
You're gonna have problems. You cannot expect a man. I think women expect female qualities and characteristics out of men. We want someone attentive. We want them to be attentive. We want them to remember dates. We
Lavender,
want them to be.
hold. Okay, for some reason I'm trying to. The reason I changed headphones on you because you were coming in and out. You're not your audio is not consistent for some reason. So and the reason I saw it on my meter, and I don't understand why is that happening. Um, but keep talking. Let me see if I can adjust anything on my end. But keep talking about unrealistic how unrealistic women are.
Okay, you use the word unrealistic, but we do expect female qualities out
Okay,
of
so I lost
men.
your audio. I'm losing your audio. You got to do something on your end. I can't do it on this end here
Okay, we're gonna
because
lose our viewers
I'm losing
because
your all you like you coming in and out on your
you and your
audio.
testing. How about now?
Oh, now it sounds like you're down in the well.
Okay. Well, there's nothing else
Down.
that I can do. It's either gonna be the microphone in or the microphone out.
Uh, da da da. Okay, okay. We'll keep talking then. Just go ahead and keep talking. I want to see what I can do on this end to compensate for it. But I sometimes just get you just get every other word coming out of your mouth. Okay.
It might be the internet. You know, I live in the country. I'm in the woods, and the weather is not that great. That might be it. Nothing I can do about Mother Nature. That might be it. This morning I woke up and we had no power. When I say we,
Okay.
my
Sugar.
area, there is no we in this house, just me. So can you hear me okay now? We lost the one
Mm,
viewer we had. You and your equipment. So anyway, going back to women. Yes, I'm gonna say it again. We want men to be loving, kind, attentive. Um, we want them to be caring. And I'm not saying men can't be this, but those are actually qualities that women naturally have. It's not natural for a man to be uh, loving, attentive. He has to work at those things. He has to work at keeping his woman happy because we're different. What is that book you always refer? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We do.
yeah.
We expect ourselves out of our men, and that's what sets us up for disappointment. And I believe what my favorite quote is Shakespeare: expectations, the root of all unhappiness. The root is of all unhappiness is expectations. When you put expectations on another person and create illusions for them, you are definitely setting yourself up for disappointment because they're incapable of meeting uh, what's in your head, what you desire. They are who they are. Do you agree?
Uh, y- mm, ah,
You weren't
I'm
even
trying to.
listening. Good Lord, have mercy. Good Lord, Jesus, help me.
No, no, I was listening.
Welcome to the
I was
laVender Shake-Up
actually, I was
Show.
listening to you, little Bender. But, I
See,
was
that's a
working here.
prime example.
I was working
Prime
here at the same time.
example of a man not being attentive, not listening. Um, that's funny. Acting like you're listening. My goodness, you just set the whole tone for the show. That's a man.
We
Now,
didn't listen to women.
ladies,
Okay,
if you
so
can
you were
if
you
you
saying
can
that
live with that,
men
you'll
don't
be
listen to
okay.
women?
You just
Are you saying?
proved it. You just proved it. You have
But
listened. You got two ears. We get
what?
one.
Okay. So what would that tell you then, Lavender?
That you guys are in your own world. You don't give a damn. You're
No, that ain't.
selfish.
Maybe you got to say something we want to hear.
What do you want to hear?
Now you were talking about something. You were talking about sex or something. I wouldn't have tuned you out.
See, selfish. Selfish. One way, uh, one thought, everything's about sex. But you know, I used to read a lot of books on couples and relationships, and men don't want to hear the same old stuff. They want to hear something with excitement. You have to come in with excitement. Because if you say, can we talk today? They're like, oh my God, here we go. But if you say, I got something great I need to tell you, they're like, what? Like little boys, little children. So if you go go to your man and say, we need to talk tonight, or I got some issues that we need to address, they're like, uh, oh my God, here we go again. Same crap, different day. But if we come up to you and say, you won't believe what happened, or you won't believe what I thought about today, or is that true?
Well, laVender, I don't know about you, but the problem I have with your conversation is that I'm just getting every other word. So if I can take off this mic because I can hear you, but what's going out on the air I can't hear you.
Okay.
Are you just coming in and out?
Okay.
So
So should we
so
should we delay this show until a later date?
no, but go ahead. We'll talk about it. It's just you just have to. You got some kind of delay on your end, so you got to start talking and continue to talk. So when you got to cut you off at the very beginning and to cut you off at the very end of it. Okay. So, but anyhow, let's talk. Let's go ahead and let's work without it. Okay.
What a
We'll just work
show! What a
without it. Okay.
show!
All right.
These
I'm
that
listening.
that's
I guess
that's a
100% now.
male thing. Also, you all don't plan. Women like to plan. Like we like to plan date nights. We
Hmm.
like to plan getaways and time together. Where you all just kind of whatever. No, you don't initiate those things. You don't plan. And I'm not going to say all men, but that's the kind of stuff that women want. And I guess that is unrealistic. We want the man to take control, and we want to be courted. No matter how long we've been with someone, we want to be courted.
Well, what from a man's perspective though, we look at it. Why is all that so important? Huh?
There you go. It's
Why is
important to
that?
women.
I know, but why? I need to understand why is that so important. Y'all have to go through all these rituals. I understand that, okay?
So a date
But
night
I'm
is a
I'm just speaking
ritual.
from a man's point of view.
A date
Sometimes,
night is a ritual.
huh?
A date
Yeah,
night is a ritual. Being
yeah.
courted is a ritual. So when a woman meets a man, she's not to expect that man to court her, to take her out.
Well, the problem with that is that they can do it, but
It,
but they do it just as a ritual, okay? But they'll do it today, and then you expect it tomorrow, and then you expect it next week, and then next week and next week. But
you
that's not
go,
who they are. That's not who he is.
you
And
guys,
there's some men, given some men may be like that, okay. But the man you run across, he may not like the pomp and circumstance. Take me for an example, okay. I'm just just in life in general, okay.
uh-huh.
I'm not a. I think I'm more attentive to women needs than most men, but just in life in general, for an example, I'm not a
Yeah.
pomp and circumstances kind of a person. I don't care about birthday parties. I don't care about I didn't even you know when I went to my uh, college graduate. I didn't go to my college graduation. I didn't do my civilian retirement ceremony. I didn't do my military retirement ceremony. I only ceremony I did, and I only did it because my wife hounded me to do it, was that when I got my master's degree, she 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 wanted me to participate in the ceremony. All that stuff is not important to me, and but I only did it because she wanted me to do that. So I'm not a pomp and circumstance kind of a man, and some men are not romantic kind of men, okay, and they don't see the importance of doing all of that quote pomp and circumstances kinds of stuff uh, for women. So recognize the fact that some men might, and if they do, good. But if they don't, why push it on them?
Well, as you already know, I'm not the average woman. I don't care about that stuff either, but the majority of women do. It's just the whole men are from Mars. What is it? Women are from Venus thing. We think different. We
Yeah.
respond differently. I don't know why you don't expect us to expect those things every day or every other day, or for a man to be attentive because you all expect sex every day. You
Mm-hmm.
expect that every day, but you don't want to put the work in to make us respond in sexual ways. You want us to just be able to turn it on and
Yeah.
deliver without receiving the attentiveness, the care. Because how a man treats, I saw this on social media the other day, how a man treats a woman uh, determines how much sex he'll get or how sexual the woman will respond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you treat us right, we'll treat you right. We know what you want. Most women know what men want. It's all about sex. All about sex. If you do a job in the house and your wife says thank you are probably waiting on a different type of thank you than words. You probably want sex as a thank you. You
Right.
know?
So why should it be one way then? Why should we have to always come to the needs of the woman and not she's not coming to the needs of the man?
It
Okay, let
is
me give you a case in point, okay? And not
okay.
to be necessarily graphic of this,
Okay.
most men, okay, you hear most men always when it comes to sex, okay,
Uh-huh.
and so most men, you know what they like in sex, okay? I can sum it up in two letters. They like
What?
a BJ, right? But most women don't like giving them, okay? And it's
Oh,
it's always given as a token or you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
if you know what his needs are and his likes are, why aren't you attending to that? You want
I
you want her. She wants you to be sensitive and to her needs. Okay, so why? I mean, why can't it be a 50-50 thing? It don't
why
always seem
can't it
50-50.
be?
Yeah,
Why
I'm
can't it
asking.
be? It can be.
Well, why
But
most
most
oftentimes it's not.
men, most men don't know how to treat a woman. We're not that difficult. A lot of men think women are complicated, but we're just uh, human beings who want to be admired, loved, respected. The same as men, probably. You all want to be loved and admired, but I think we're just selfish beings, men and women. And because love, we always talk about love, and this is why I say we don't really know what love is. Love is when you're not thinking about your own needs. You're thinking about the other person's needs.
Right.
You
I
put
agree with
yourself, yeah, you put yourself on the
you.
back burner. Yeah, but that's not the case with men. It's all about sex, sex, sex. Because I just believe naturally the man's sex drive, most men, is a lot higher. But I know quite a few women who love to have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why it can't be 50-50, but why has it got to be 50-50? Why can't it be 100 and 0? Why can't you just start out, like you say, you guys start out doing the right things, but those nice things kind of fizzle out after you get what you want, after you get comfortable with the person. You stop doing those things that you did to get the woman. And
Yeah.
then she's lost interest. And I think that might be just human nature, Vernon. That's why I love that stage of a relationship where you're getting to know one another. Because once the sex enters, everything changes. That's just horrible. Everything changes. And sometimes the man will be gone, if not physically gone, he is mentally gone. On to the next.
Well, but what did I tell you though, laVender? if you know that if a woman knows how important sex is to men,
Yeah.
but y'all weaponize it.
A lot of them don't, Vernon. A lot of them don't know. And then that goes back to not understanding men, not understanding a man's needs. It's not just sex, it's like a physical need that a man's body almost has to have
Right,
sex. And a
right.
lot of women just don't understand that because the older women aren't teaching the younger women, or the older women don't know or don't care. But that's what they did. They used to, back in the day, you stayed home and your husband went to work. That's the way it was. And she knew her job in the bedroom. Sounds horrible, her job, but she knew that she needed to perform when it was time to go to bed. That's
Well,
just the way it was. Now the woman is working. She's tired. She's taking care. It's just different. It's just,
wait a minute now, laVender. Can I pause you there for a second?
please.
Okay. Now think about this for a minute. You talking about sex equivalent to you using it as work. Okay.
Uh huh.
Well, let's stick with that for a minute.
Work.
Okay. Now, who actually do the work in the bedroom? Okay. So men the one to do the work in the bedroom, and in fact, it's so much harder to please a woman than it is for a woman to please a man. So if he cared about it, he wouldn't have to do the work in the bedroom, not the woman. The woman shouldn't
No.
just lay there and enjoy it, but he has
Uh,
to. He has to do the work.
and
Come
she's
on now.
really and she's really enjoying it. And if he started sex, foreplay before he got in the bedroom, he wouldn't have to work as hard. Again, men don't understand a woman's body. They don't understand. So, yeah, we lay there. You said lay there and enjoy it. A lot of time, women will fake that stuff too. It's like, okay, what am I going to cook tomorrow? They could be thinking anything. While is he finished yet? Hurry up and finish. What's taking him so? I can tell some stories. This is what women sit around and talk about. We talk about. Oh God. Oh my goodness, y'all poor men. Poor men. I'm just cracking up thinking about some of the conversations that I hear with women. Oh my God. You poor men. Poor men. It is so sad. And you say men do all the work. What are you doing? You're not doing anything.
We do all the work, laVender.
You're not doing anything. You think you're doing. You're not doing anything. It doesn't take all that huffing and puffing and moving. Oh my God. If you all would just know, Vernon, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm just thinking about some of the things that I've heard women say about their husbands in the bedroom. Oh my God. Oh my God. You poor man. And she will, because she loves you, she will act like she's enjoying it. She will just endure. Oh my God. She would just endure the pain. Oh Lord, endure the labor. What's that on the color purple? When the lady says, I just lay there and wait for him to do his
Do his
business.
duty.
And the lady said, do his business. But see, she had a love for that man. Whereas Miss Seeley, no, was it Miss Seeley?
Mm-hmm.
Whoopi, whatever character Whoopi played, she did not care for the man. She was doing her duty and allowing him to uh, flush his fluids in her. Whereas Suge Knight was, is it
Suge Knight.
Suge Knight. Suge had a special love for this man. And as you always say, it's not about the sex, it's the person. So they have been uh, friends for so long, lovers for so long. And when she came back into his life, it just continued. But yeah, do his business. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. That is so funny. You got to change the subject because I will laugh through this whole shit. Yo, poor men. And then get up and say, talk about, are you all right? Am I all right? Why wouldn't I? What would happen? Besides being unsatisfied and longing for something, I'm okay. Oh my God. I can't do this. Oh, somebody give me some tissue. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Vernon, just keep
But do you,
talking.
Lavender, are you saying? Wait a minute. Are you saying that when you wasn't satisfied when you had sex in the bed? How when you was married? Did you get satisfied every time y'all had sex, or did you get satisfied
I'm not
anytime
about
y'all
to
had sex?
share all my personal information, but I will tell you this because I wrote about it
Uh
in
huh.
my first book, We Snap in Silence. Um, Women don't always feel like playing sex goddess in the evening. And I
Mm-hmm.
had to pray for just to, oh my God, just pray to have sex. I just didn't want to. But then
What?
that goes to how you're being treated. A husband who is treating his wife, you know what I'm saying, halfway decent, she won't mind doing it. So mine is a little bit different, but the average woman who's in a happy marriage, whatever her happy is, she doesn't mind having sex with her husband, but probably not as much as he does. And
Well,
I say that just from the conversations that I have with the married women. I can't believe I cracked up and lost it like that. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Y'all poor. I feel
we
sorry.
can we hey we can see why you ain't got no man in your life. Yep, we can see that. You probably one of those. Hey, Lavender, you probably one of those women that poor guy now begin to feel sympathy for the husband because he probably worked so hard and he still
Oh
couldn't satisfy you.
shoot. Oh shoot. You know what? That's a whole different story. But if I'm ever in a relationship, and we talked about this before, just because I'm not married doesn't mean I don't know how to treat a man. I don't know what men need. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like uh, chaplains, Catholic chaplains giving marriage, doing premarital counseling. You know,
Hmm.
they've never been married, but that doesn't mean they don't have some knowledge of what it takes to make a marriage work. And I talked to quite a
How could
few,
they? How
huh?
could they? How could they?
They read. I used to work with chaplains. They read. They have desires just because they put on that gown, robe, whatever it's called. They're still men. They're men of God, but they're men
But
and
how would they know?
experienced. What'd you say your
What?
teacher told you? You may not be an expert, but you're an expert of your experience.
Yeah, but again, how would a an unmarried Catholic priest would know anything about marriage and can tell you about marriage and sex and all that kind of stuff, and they never experienced that. That's just like that don't that sounds
And maybe they have.
not.
Maybe they became a priest. Maybe they weren't a priest all of their life. I
Well,
think
let's assume for a second that they upheld all of the Catholics, whatever. Okay, let's assume that they never did, but then they
mhm.
yet they counseling you on marriages and counseling you on sex. How can they be credible?
Books. They read, they study. Just like going to college and getting a degree. You may not have never uh, done anything with your degree, but you have that knowledge of it. You may not have never found a job for your degree, but you have that knowledge.
Okay, now listen at this, Levin. I hear you. I hear you. I don't
Uh-huh.
know whether I agree with you or not, but I hear you. It's almost like, and they can only do it to a certain degree if you ask me. It's just like a college professor teaching business, okay? But never owned a business in his life, okay? Never been out in the real world to know what it's like to be a CEO, and what the only thing he can teach is theoretical kinds of knowledge. But more it's more to life than just theory, okay? Some of those theories don't work out there. It's just that. It's just a theory. But when
Yeah,
you get out there in the real world, then you have a whole different nothing substitute for the experience. Okay,
you're
nothing
right.
substitute for the
You're
experience.
right.
Once you experience it, then you know how to correct it. You know how to do whatever. But if you just based on theory, it's just not gonna always work. And and that's the problem that I sometimes have with counseling. I'm an advocate of counseling. I really am an advocate of counseling.
Premarital
But
counseling or just counseling, period.
counseling, period. Counseling. I think counseling, premarital counseling, and counseling during marriage, and counseling after marriage, and all that. Any kind of counseling you need for whatever your situation requires. I think that you should seek out counseling whenever you can. Okay,
Hmm.
but keep it keep it real. Okay, because counseling can only take you so far. Because when a person tell you about your experience and what you should and what you should not do, he's not living in your world. He's
Hmm.
not filling your shoes. He's not there taking that beating every night that abusive person putting on you. He's not there because all those circumstances are different. And so they can only tell you so much and go so far with it. But but in the meantime, now would you rather listen to, let's say for an example, if you was a battered woman, okay, and men and women are. Okay. So you have an option to go to a counselor that's just read about it, or you went through a person that been through it and had personal experiences with it. Who would you give more credibility to? The person that's experienced it and became a counselor, or the person just read about it and became a counselor?
Well, most counselors have not been through that. Most counselors are, uh, I don't know what their degree is in, but when you go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they haven't gone through what you're going through. And the fact with the battered woman, um, I forgot the name of the organization, but they don't want battered women giving counsel to battered women. They
Why?
want the professionals.
Okay. What's the rationale behind that?
I have no idea. I've always wondered that myself. I have no idea. I don't know. When you have therapy for anything, that therapist hasn't gone through everything her clients deal with, but they know. psychology, they know the mind, they know behavior, um, and they sound like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they
Military,
sound like
military sexual trauma. I was in group therapy with a group of women who were victims of military sexual trauma, and the therapist. I mean, everybody deals with trauma of some degree in their life, but she had
mhm.
never been a victim of military sexual trauma. And it was never the actual incidents that were shared. We weren't even supposed to bring up the incidents. It was behavior, response to certain things in life, daily life. They just went a lot deeper than that. Whereas we probably wanted to talk about the issue, but then they have different types of therapy, different types of group therapy where they can actually talk about those incidents. But these therapists have not experienced military, they ain't even been in the military. That's a whole different ball game right there.
I
You're
know.
working in a male dominant field, whether it's military or not, and the therapists don't know anything about that. They don't know firsthand what a woman deals with. Say, if she went on a ship full of men and the females are way outnumbered, or she was with a squadron or whatever, corporate company, male dominated. You go to therapy, that therapist hadn't lived every situation. So I don't
So
know
why would
what the,
one listen to him then?
you tell me.
I don't know. That was the
It's the
question
way
I'm
of the
asking.
world. Therapy, therapists, it's just the way of the world. They're qualified to give counsel, to, it's like preachers. They give counsel. They have not gone through everything, but they will give counsel to their members, godly counsel on forgiveness and whatever, whatever, because there's a situation in the Bible for you can find it to fit any situation that somebody is dealing with, whether it be spiritually, mentally, financially, you know, I don't know. It's really the game of life, Vernon. That's the way it's played, and for some reason we play it without asking questions, without asking the rules of the game and why. It
Yeah,
is how it is.
I know, but you know, I'm wondering is that always is the best to do that?
No, it's not. No, it's not always the best, but that's just the way it is. See, we ask questions. I was raised to ask why, to question everything. Most
Me
people are
too.
not going to question, they're just going to go with the flow. Sometimes I wish I didn't have the mind to want to know the why behind everything, just accept it and roll with it. But that's just not how I'm wired.
I know, but that's how most of the world wired. I probably told you this story one time about when I was in the sixth grade and I hated Miss Daly because she was my teacher, but I found referencing her throughout my life a lot because I didn't like the lady. But she was teaching us one time, laVender, about etiquette.
Hmm.
Okay. And she's supposed to, we're supposed to do this, supposed to hold your hand, don't put your elbow on the table, women shouldn't smoke in public, all that kind of stuff. All right. Well, my dumb ass wanted to know why. I mean, I want to ask Miss Daly. I said, Miss Daly, I don't understand that. I said, well, why did she get to tell us? Why Emily Post get to tell us what to do? This one person, in my mind, that was one person's opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
And she said, well, because she wrote a book about it. I said, well, because she wrote a book about it. And I wasn't smart enough then, but I remember but when I learned later in life that Hitler wrote a book too called Mein Kampf. Was that
Mm,
we all follow that? But
I
but
know.
what I questioned her, and she said, well, she told me the very same thing that you said, basically that she wrote a book, and the reason she's an authority, because I want to know what makes her to be the authority on etiquette, and she told me that because people accept it, nobody questioned it, and so therefore she's the foregoing authority on that. Maybe it's folks like you had to question it, maybe she wouldn't have been, but since you don't want to question it, you fall in line, kind of a thing. That's what
Hmm.
you're supposed to
Hmm.
do. And
If
and
it's
I
in
hear
black
you.
and white, if it's in black
Yeah,
and white, it's like gospel.
I
But
know
that's like the vows, Vernon. Think about the vows. The vows are not in the Bible.
the Bible. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, who nobody questions that, and I'm sure they have a spiritually
But
correct answer for it. But I
but
questioned it.
I know you know what? I didn't know that until I heard you say that one time.
Yeah.
You said vows not, I never questioned it. I assumed all along those were God words. And now maybe that what kept me married for 51 years. Because I thought that was God's words until I heard you say that. And then I had but then I checked it out. You're right. Absolutely. They just words that somebody penned.
You're
And we all
right.
decided that we all gonna fall in line with it, right or wrong or indifference, right?
For better or
So
for worse, till death do us part.
yeah, that's the problem. But you know my thing about that. But anyhow, I think we ought to have expiration dates on
Expiration
married life.
dates. I know that's right.
On
I
marriage
know.
licenses.
Make
Yeah.
your own. Make your own.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're
But
going to break the vows that you made before God? Um, who wrote those vows? You know what I'm saying? And now people are writing their own vows.
and maybe maybe that is the key, vendor. And they say that you made before God. Maybe that's what they're
Right.
looking at. I didn't make those vows. Hell, I didn't know nothing but all I know is just what to say I do. Okay, and so hell, I didn't know who made the vow. I just assumed those of Jesus himself had penned those words, and I dare not break them.
Hmm. It makes you question a lot of things when you start
Oh yeah,
figuring, you know, instead of
yeah,
just going with the flow. It's amazing to me as I grow older, the things that I accepted
yeah.
and who I would have been. My mother used to pull my lips, literally pull my lips because I was talking back. Vernon, I just wanted to know why. I questioned. I was using my voice. I was stating my opinion, but I was young, junior high school. I mean, she literally pulled my lips because I
Mm,
talked so much. I just couldn't accept. I just couldn't accept what somebody was telling me. I wanted to know more. So it wasn't like I was being disrespectful. Why I got to do this? Or why
yeah.
this? And da da da. I wanted to know why. So I even had to
I,
tell my supervisors that when I question you, I'm not being disrespectful. I just need to know why I'm doing this. Why is it done this way as opposed to another way? It's just who I am.
Me too, a little bit. I think that's what we're like in many ways. When that I can remember when I was a child, right? And this whole idea about Santa Claus, it just to me, I had to understand. I couldn't understand, and I went looking for evidence. And then right after Christmas, I went out and see it's in his tracks and the thing, look on the roof and see everything. But I couldn't figure out that big fat ass white man could get down that little narrow chimney we had. But every time I questioned it, they said, "Shut up, or don't you?
Yeah,
You're not gonna get nothing for Christmas." Shut up, kind of
yeah.
thing. But here's a silly one I told somebody just the other day in my life, and I may have told you this too. because you accept people's word at face value. Okay,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
my mama didn't believe in us eating at other people's houses, and her thing is because we was always well fed anyway because we was on the farm, but we raised pigs and cows and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. We were well fed, but her thing, but she always used to feed other people's children, and she figured that the other people didn't have enough food to feed their own children, and so
Mm-hmm.
but she lectured us into saying that you don't go to other people's houses eating at other people's houses, no question about that. Okay, and we never did, and I want to fast forward 15, 20 years, 15 years later, okay, when I'm 19 years old, I went to Cleveland, Ohio to stay with my sister for December, and had a job to trying to earn money to buy me a car, right? And these kids in the city, they like to have parties. When we have parties, we go to house parties and you dance at the house party, and we didn't have much. We didn't have like food at the party. We just had a party, okay, and you go home. But the kids, I explained the reason why they were so fat. But the kids up there, when they have parties, they like to eat. And when I used to go to their parties, and I hear my mama voice when I see that food, don't you go to nobody's place to eat. Don't you know go matter. And I never eat at those as long as I used to be sometimes. I swear I stay true to my mama's word. And so one day, living a true story, my next door neighbor Carmen, she had a party in one in the afternoon, and I didn't go. My sister said, "Well, how come you're not going over to Carmen's party?" I said, "Because all the thing they do over there just they just like to stand around and eat." And I said, "I don't want to be looking at them folks." She said, "Well, why not?" I said, Ma told us we can't go to people's houses and eat." She said, "You dumbass, go on over there." I was just going on. And I'm 19 years old, and that stuck with me until I was 19 years old. That I still couldn't go to people's houses to eat. So I just said that to say one day I never questioned my mom. I know her theory. I know what she was thinking, but I never questioned it. And then I followed it to the law, and that's what we're saying too. Again, about people. I think some things you should question about it. Okay, and if it don't sound right, look right, question it.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. Well,
And then
that's.
get your lip pulled off.
I remember telling my mother when I think I was getting ready to go to high school, I
Hmm.
wanted to have a baby without getting married. And she, yeah, I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to get married. I just wanted to have a baby and raise a baby myself. I didn't want the whole traditional. It just didn't make it. Isn't it something that I was thinking that way back then as a young girl? I don't know
Yeah.
what was in my head. I really didn't know how to rationalize or to navigate through my thoughts and process because I didn't have anybody to talk to what was in my head. But I questioned a lot. I even remember telling her that I wanted to marry somebody in the Navy and was on a ship so they could be away for 6 months. This was as a young girl, so it's like, dang, you haven't been thinking
So you
this.
so you always been a man hater from
I've
two. Damn.
always been an independent woman who questioned uh, what was accepted by society. Marriage, and we talked about how a woman has to give up her name. Vernon, that just
Yeah.
never processed. I don't know. I wonder who I would have been if at that young age I verbalized it more, like I verbalize it now. I
You
probably
wouldn't
would
have had no
have.
lips. Your mom would have knocked them off again. Instead of pulled them off, you would have knocked them off.
Talk about knock them off. She used to tell us too, you're gonna be looking for your eyeballs. Like, how can I look for my eyeballs if I don't have any? I questioned
Yeah.
that.
My mom used to say, "Shut up! I'll snap you into next week." Into next week, ma, huh? Yeah, yeah, I'll slap you into next week. And if she couldn't do it, she sure would try.
Oh
I
my
didn't,
goodness.
I didn't chance it because I know she meant what she said.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that is funny. Funny, 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 funny.
Yeah, but
Oh
I mean,
boy.
that's just the way it is, Lavender. But your point is, yeah, I think sometimes even in relationships, the things just don't sound right, or things is we got to respect people individuality, just like you.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
so
yes. That's the
understand that, but
word, accept, acceptance. And
accept.
that's what we have a difficult time doing is accepting people where they are
Yeah,
and who they are.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. That's a good way to end the show, the Vernon.
Y-
Acceptance. When we learn how to accept people, the world would be a better place.
But you know
We,
how hard that is, though, Lavender.
we want
People,
people to think like we do.
yeah, I know, but people would not. I had the same conversation with my granddaughter today about accepting people for who they are. You can't
Hmm.
change them, just accept them.
Hmm.
And I always tell
Yeah,
folks, and I always tell folks, I said, well, just read that serenity prayer. Okay, just read that and believe that serenity prayer, and then just you can't change people. Just accept them who they are, and just
I
try to deal with it.
know.
Yeah, yeah, just deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. Just love
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
in spite
yeah,
of the differences in thoughts and beliefs and the way they live their life. You know.
yeah. Lavender, we're gonna have to go, but let me tell you this before I forget. Next week for our next show, I figured out the problem that we had on your audio. Okay.
Oh, it's my audio.
Yeah, yeah. Your audio. Mine wasn't an issue, but on your audio. What it was actually remind me next week if we start if we start skipping like that, I had to go in and lower the bandwidth. It was just you didn't have enough bandwidth to at the high wherever I had it set on, it was too high, and it wasn't enough bandwidth, so it wasn't getting enough. So I had to go down and lower your bandwidth, and everything
Okay.
is fine. So remind me of that next week, because I'm an old man and I forget and
Okay.
I try to figure that out over again. Why in the hell is this doing this again?
Okay. The
Okay,
bandwidth. Lower the
the bandwidth, yeah,
bandwidth.
just
Okay.
lower the bandwidth, and that's something good to you. If you got on your podcast, if people start clicking, that means that the bandwidth that they at is too high. They because you're not getting enough bandwidth to support it. So you lower it a little bit,
So
and
is that like the volume?
yeah, it was like well, rather than when I say that, rather than you having it at 720 kilobits, or you might want to put it at 360 or 260 or something like that. You do a right click on it. It'll tell you what your bandwidth is. Okay,
Okay.
it's just like it was just too high it was just too high for our connection. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
in the
Okay.
quality, the quality, the reason people put up higher bandwidth because they think they can get better quality. They may and they may not. Just depends on if you looking for if you're looking for $1,000 and I only got $800, that's all you're gonna get is $800, and so that means
Hmm.
you coming up $200 short. The same thing. So I had to download and say, okay, Lavender, I want $800 instead of $1,000. So when I gave you $800, then everything's good.
Okay.
That's an analogy is what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
sometimes
Okay.
sometimes
Well,
you got
thank you
to
for that. Thank you. I learned something tonight on top of what all the other things I learned.
okay. All right,
Appreciate
we
that.
gotta go. We gotta go. But we again see you again next week's
Next
same.
week,
You ain't gonna skip now. You ain't gonna skip out on me like you did last week, are you?
I
Oh,
was
you
out of
didn't tell
town.
her. Oh, I forgot. Oh man, I forgot about the Vegas trip. We should have talked about your Vegas trip.
Well, we can
Okay,
talk
we're
about
gonna
it
talk
next
about that
time.
next week. Okay, write it down now.
With
So I know you're an old lady. You'll forget. Let's talk about the Vegas trip because that's an
Okay.
important thing we need to talk about. All right.
Sin
Okay.
City. All right.
Yeah, and Sin City. I'm surprised a Christian like you would even go to Sin City. You
Hey,
ought to be
it was a
you ought to
business
be
trip.
ashamed. Huh?
It was a
You ought to
business trip.
Oh
I
yeah. That was
know. I know.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
sugar.
but what stays in Vegas?
But
What's the
you do in Vegas.
phrase?
So you do in Vegas, stay in Vegas. Did it?
Okay. Okay. Is
Okay.
that it?
Yeah.
What goes on in
It
Vegas
used to be
stays in
it's
Vegas?
in Vegas.
I don't
Well,
know.
that used to be until social media came about. Now it's not. Now what goes on in Vegas, everybody knows what's going
I
on.
know. What happens in Vegas is going to be all over social
All over the
media, all over the
exactly.
internet.
All
Okay,
right, sugar.
Vernon,
We'll
we'll
see you
see you
next
next
week.
week. Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Holla.